All right, I thought today we would do some Christmas decorating for the dollhouse by decorating our fireplace we just finished. Stay tuned and see how fun and easy this is to make. All right, the first step for making our fireplace decoration this week is to create our layer of snow. And this is supposed to represent some of that, the snow batting stuff that you can buy to put down under your Christmas decorations, whether it's under a Christmas village or other decorations. And I went back and forth as to whether to make it out of fabric or paper. And I decided to go with medium weight cardstock because I think it'll be a little more durable and a lot easier to work with. So I sat down and I created a pattern for this piece here. This is what we're going to make for our snow. And the pattern is available for free. You can download it from my blog post that goes with this video. The link to that blog post is in the description box below the video. You can make as many of these as you want. I just ask that you don't sell my pattern or give my pattern away. You can sell the pieces you make from my patterns, but please don't sell the patterns themselves. Now this is designed to fit the fireplace that we made on the channel that we finished up last Sunday. And you may need, if you're using a different fireplace, you might need to adjust this a little bit. So our first step is I'm actually going to put my parchment paper under here because I want to do some scoring on this. I want to score it and have it all ready to fold before I start putting our snow layer on. And I've got a dotting tool. That I'm going to juggle very badly. And hopefully I want straight. And I made this little tab part here so that you can have that go behind your fireplace. And then you can, if you need to, you can add some tape or something to tape it on and not harm your fireplace. Now I'm going to start it like this, fold it down, and then I'm going to put this out and line up my ruler with the side. And that should be about a little over 1.5 inches down, about 1 5/8 inches down from that last fold. And I'm just scoring it this way with this ball tool, just so it'll be easier to fold. It won't crinkle when we try to fold it, and a ball tool won't tear the paper. So now I'm going to size this, make sure it's all fitting. Yep, that's exactly where I want it folded. So perfect. Now I'm going to put out this little scrap of parchment paper. And I'm going to lay this on top of the parchment paper to work on it. In fact, yeah, that'll be fine. And I've got some Mod Podge. This happens to be satin. It doesn't matter what level of shine your Mod Podge has. And I've got an older brush. I'm going to put coat, and I don't need Mod Podge on that tab we folded down in the back. So I'm going to leave it free of Mod Podge and use it as a spot to hold on to this with. Put a very thin coat, but you'll need to work quickly because you'll need this to be wet. All right. Now, put the lid on so it doesn't spill all over the place. I have some crystal glitter, and this is... It's not a real fine glitter, it's kind of a coarse one. There, put some of that on. Now you could coat the whole thing in glitter if you wanted to, but I've got this flocking, and I love using flocking. And you don't have to cover the whole paper. It's okay. I thought the flocking would look kind of like snow, kind of like the stuff we're trying to replicate. And it doesn't have to cover the whole thing. It can be patchy. It's okay. We just want to give the impression that there's some texture here. All right, and we're going to let that completely dry before we move on to the next step, which is really just brushing off the excess and going to our next part of our decoration. So I'll be back when this is dry. All right, that layer has dried, and I'm not thoroughly happy with it, so I'm going to put on a little more Mod Podge and another layer of the flocking. And this time I'm actually going to put a paper underneath everything. That way, hopefully I won't get it all over the house. Get a nice brush. I'm going to get a little softer brush this time. And I'm actually going to pour some Mod Podge out because we're going to need Mod Podge for a couple of steps, and I don't want to get the flocking into my Mod Podge. Now I'm going to pat this on. Now it is a little warped, but that's okay. We can straighten it out. I just want more flocking. And the flocking, a lot of times when you use that, you do need to work in layers. It doesn't always cover really well. And I apologize for the white on white here. All right, that brush to the side, put this to the side. I'm going to put a little more of the glitter on just so we have sparkly all the way through. Be a little more generous with this. Unfortunately, I won't be able to retrieve the flocking and put it back in my bottle because it'll have glitter in it, but that's okay. And I'm actually going to kind of pat this in a little bit. All right, I'm not looking for a complete coverage, but I would like a little more coverage than I had on that. So I am going to move this off to the side, someplace where hopefully it won't fall. All right, next we're going to work on the greenery that's going to go on the top of this also. And for that, you've got a couple of choices. I've got two things here I'm going to show you. And what I've got here, this is the label called Wired Pine. Once in a while, you'll find these at Christmas time at the craft stores or the dollar store or someplace like that. It's kind of like a chenille stem, but it's got this plasticky stuff instead of the usual other like chenille stems have. And then this is just a piece off of a floral pick that had some tiny pine on it or tiny greenery. And either one will work just fine. So use what you've got. Go look at the dollar store or the craft store and see what they've got. Or look in your stash. Now I'm just going to use this because it will take one strip of it. Always use wire cutters to cut things like this. Don't try to use your scissors. I cut it the same length as the back of my fireplace is. So now I'm going to take this and I pulled out a brush. Now I have the glitter. I have some more glitter. This is just a really coarse green glitter that I've picked up somewhere. I don't even know where. And I have my micro beads. And I'm going to pull out the red ones. You could use all glitter. You could use any number of things on here. You could even use some of the flocking if you want to make it look a little more flocked. Now, I'm not going to be really careful about where I put the glue. And I'm just using Mod Podge because it'll go on in a thinner coat. It won't make big globs unless I want to. And I'm putting on more than I'm going to need. Because it will dry clear. It'll be okay. All right. First thing I'm going to do is put a little bit of this on my hand. And I don't want very much of this. And probably all that falls on there will not stick. Now I'm going to take some of these. And you do need to work kind of quickly while that's still wet. And finally, some glitter. That same crystal glitter that we used earlier. And what I'll probably do is just dump all of this into a little container, and then I'll have like a Christmassy mix. Now I'm going to kind of push down on this with my finger, and then I'm going to let that glue dry. And when that's dry, I'll come back and we can put our fireplace together. All right, we're going to wrap this up kind of quickly because my battery is dying and I'm having issues with charging it today. So this is all dry. I've kind of cleaned it up a little bit. I brushed off all the excess with this brush, and now we're going to put it onto the fireplace. I'm just going to use some Scotch tape on the back. That way it's easy to remove after the holidays. And once we get some weight on it, it will stay down. Now this, I'm going to pick the front, and I'm going to glue this on. Be sure and hop over to the blog post. There'll be more photos over there. And I'm going to try and decorate this a couple of different ways and take pictures of it, but it would be hard to show that on camera because of the angle. Just a line of tacky glue and push this down, let it dry. And this part of our decoration is done, but we're not done there. What I thought was this would be a good place to use some of our items we made last year. Whoops, this is going to have to be held in place. I'll probably have to clamp this down, but then you can just set some of your other decorations on the fireplace and it's ready for the holidays. You could use whatever centerpiece decoration you have on hand. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Like I said, jump over to the blog post for photos and more information. I'll try and fill in a few of the details I've had to skip here at the end due to my camera issues. But thank you very much for watching today, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.